Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! All right, folks, as promised in episode 191, I've got Joe D'Angelo here to give his recap of Kruisefest from Miami. How's it going, Joe?
Good, Alan. Thank you for having me. Kruisefest was a lot of fun, and glad that I'm able here to talk to everybody about it. So I guess I'll get started, tell you some of the things about it. If you weren't there, you missed the biggest, best KISS Cruise pre-party ever. And I say that as you drink from the cup. It really was. And it was because of the team that was in place. It was myself, Jay Jadowski, who's done previous parties. I think he did 3, 4, and 5 or something like that. And then Bill Allward and Neil Davis. Neil actually played last year with his band, and this year was one of the partners. And the four of us just worked our butts off, and I think really put together an event for the ages. And a lot of people were really pleased with it, and we're glad that so many enjoyed it. So we started out with having it opened up on Monday. There's two days before the KISS Cruise. It started on a Wednesday. So we did the Monday and Tuesday, which are odd days to do a 2-day rock festival, but those are the Tuesdays that lead up to the KISS Cruise. And what we did was essentially we started off with an expo, which was really, really well organized. And I thank Jay and his team for taking the lead on that one. We had KISS Army Warehouse that were there, Creatures of the South. We had guys like Dale Torborg and Medusa from the WWE, and Lydia Chris, and Podcast Rock City was there, and there was a few other people like Jean Benoit, KISS FBA, Jaded Past, where one of our performers had a table and mingling with the crowd. And that was both days, all day. And there was constant foot traffic through the expo. So and I know that there was a UPS store right up the street that we had an account with because we were working with. They got flooded with people trying to ship KISS stuff back on Wednesday morning before they got on the boat. So I know the vendors and the people did really well.
Well, I'm guessing that the UPS store did not get mad that they made a whole bunch of money.
No, they definitely did not.
Well, and I also have to say I'm disappointed that I didn't get a chance to get over to the Kruisefest because, this year was a weird year for me, and I went through more vacation time than I really wanted to, so I didn't have enough time to get there a couple of days in advance. So maybe the next Kruisefest I'll be smart and save my vacation time.
Well, I'll tell you, I do know a lot of people that went to Kruisefest that didn't go on the cruise. I quite a few, like over 100 people that I know personally that just came for the event. I mean, you had so many bands between Karabi and Sebastian Bach and Ace Frehley, and I mean, it was a destination in and of itself if you weren't doing the cruise. But obviously, lots of people did both, and it really turned out really well.
Yeah, it is my understanding that Sebastian kind of stole the show.
Yeah, he really, well, look, he's a huge fan. And, when he got there Monday, he was like a kid in a candy store, man. He was totally in great spirits, ready to work and do anything he could to please the people. He put on a great set, too. His band is really good. And he's got these two monitors, like two big TVs that are on either side of the stage. And they constantly throughout the show showed all different pictures of him over the last 30 years. And him dressed up as Ace Frehley when he was a kid, trick-or-treating, playing in bands, dressed him. So he's a huge fan. So when he got there Monday, he says, look, do you think, reach out to Ace, see if he wants to jump up and do a couple songs with us. So we reached out to Ace's camp, talked to him, and Ace said, yeah, sure. So he jumped up and did two songs, Parasite, and I forget what the other one was. And then he turned around and said, let's do Deuce, and did a third song. He was having a blast. And then, of course, it was, something for the history books. It was great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. We started off that day with Jaded Past did the acoustic pool party, and then after them they came inside and they kicked off the night and performed electrically. And their electric set was great, and I hope everybody was there to see them. If you didn't, check them out; they were really good.
Now,
After them,
is that the
right.
Kiss tribute that dresses up in the Dress to Kill costumes?
No, that was Mysterious. They actually did the
Okay.
Tuesday pre-party. So we had two pre-parties. We did one, or excuse me, pool parties. We did the pool party on Monday and one on Tuesday. Jaded Past basically did the Monday one, and then the Tuesday one was Mysterious, who dressed up in the Dress to Kill costumes, and then they opened for John Corabi. That was the two pool parties. So it sounds like a lot, and it really was. There was a lot of moving pieces, but there was something for everyone to do at any point in the day. We literally had 12 bands over 2 days. We had several parties. We did a woman rock party reception where we honored and recognized the women in music that we think deserved it, and we wanted to make sure that the people honored and respected the women in their lives. Not just rock and roll or music, but people that actually made an impact on you, your mom, the school teacher, somebody like that. And it was very well received. I think people were glad that we were taking that time to honor the women in our lives, and it was a nice reception.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do something like that again next year. It was well received. We gave out the first annual Women Rock Award. We gave that out to a woman who was on a cruise, who was nominated by her husband, I believe. So it was nice. It was a really warm and fuzzy kind of feeling, and that's always a good thing.
Right on. What was the high point of the Cruise Fest for you?
For me, it was probably Ace singing with Sebastian, but on a broad note for everybody, I kind of look at the Cruise Fest in two ways: what I was able to help facilitate for the people, and what I was able to get for myself. So for the people, I think it was pretty cool that they got to see Ace and Sebastian jam. That's a rarity, and they were heading into the Kiss Cruise, so it was a great highlight to kick off their week long party. For me, I got to be honest with you, Dale Tourbourg, the Demon Wrestler, Jean Bevois, those guys were just John Corabi, John Regan. I mean, these are some of the nicest people. Forget musicians, just the nicest people that I've ever met. And working with them was great. It was very, I want to say almost therapeutic, because I've worked with so many jerks in my life in this industry. I hate to be honest, but it's true. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, all you got to do is last year's party, and I can rattle off a handful of them for you. But you move past that, and you look at what you've got, and there's so many great people involved in this event. It really was an uplifting experience. Yes, it was a lot of work. I literally worked 47 hours in 3 days. It was a brutal 3 day stretch for us and a lot of the volunteers. But, I think in the grand scheme of things, it was well worth it. I think everybody really enjoyed themselves.
That's pretty awesome. Like I said, maybe next year I'll save up enough vacation time to get through the whole thing, or get the whole experience.
I recommend it. I mean, look, we're KISS fans, and I look at this. I do events all the time, and most of the time I'm trying to make a couple dollars out of it because it's what I do. But this event is not about making money. This event is about making history, and that's kind of how we looked at it. We wanted to make this the biggest, the best party that anyone's ever thrown for the KISS Cruise, and it was by far that. And we're proud of that. I mean, it was the most attended, but the facility was great. If you were at last year's event, you were, and I know you weren't, but if other people were, the Vinnie Vincent event we did in Miami last year, everything worked out the way we said it was going to, but we were packed in that club so tight because the club misinformed us of the size. We didn't do a site visit. There was a lot of, back and forth, but this year we cut that out. We looked at the place. We chose this place. It's huge. We were able to spread out. We set up a VIP section and a general admission section, and there was plenty of room for everybody in there. There was multiple bars. There was no waiting in line. When you checked in, we had 4 different stations for check-in, so check-in was quick. Our merch booth was humming for 2 days straight. We sold our merch and all the band's merch, and it was doing really well. We just tried to make it so it flowed, and I think we achieved that. I'm really happy about it. I'm proud of it, and I hope everybody enjoyed themselves as much as I did.
Right on. Now, did you do any photo opportunities or anything like that?
I did actually. I took advantage of all that I could as the guy, helping put it together, and I got to get our photo with Sebastian, my wife, and I, and we actually got to go on his tour bus after his set and hang out with him for a bit and take some pictures. He was really cool, and he was thrilled to be part of, part of a piece of history, if you will. We also did meet and greet with Ace in return of a comment, and we got one of Ace's the guitars that we had for the guitar experience, which we sold every one of them. They were really beautiful guitars. I guess we had about 10 of them when we got to the event. And once people saw them, they scooped them up because it really was a nice event. It was a nice piece. So I took a picture of it with everybody, and I tried to photograph with everybody that I could, just so I could have a piece of that, a little piece of something to always remember everything by. Speaking of which, if anybody did that as well, if they go to Kruisefest.com, that's Kruisefest with a K. If they go to Kruisefest.com on the homepage, you can click and see all the pictures from all the meet and greets. So if you did one of the meet and greets, you can go download your picture.
Very cool. Any final thoughts about Kruisefest? Maybe what you wouldn't do again, or what you're looking forward to, or anything like that?
As far as what I wouldn't do again, I can't really think of much. I will definitely say there's going to be another one. As soon as we knew KISS Cruise X was in the books, which was basically the first day of the cruise, I think Jay and I and Bill were together on the pool deck for the sail away the next day, and we kind of looked at each other and were like, well, looks like we're doing it again. So we don't quite know exactly what we're doing just yet. I'm sure there'll be an expo. That was too good of an event to not have, so I'm sure there'll be an expo facet to it. Don't know who the band lineup will be just yet, but we'll definitely have something. I would like to take a moment to thank everybody. I'd be remiss in my duties if I didn't thank our volunteers. I mean, and I hate to always do names, because when you do that, you inevitably forget somebody, but I know that guys like Jim Madden and Tom and Star Peters, who are my dear friends, Jay Morales and Jules Frazier and Charlotte London, who was at the table, Peachy Watts, and Zach and Lisa and Amanda Johnson, we call them the Johnsons. They were all helping out. Rosie Luck was there helping. And again, this is what happens when you do names, you inevitably forget, but Ryan Barks was another. Eric Alberti and his wife, who, by the way, got engaged on KISS Cruise IX. So
yeah, I got to meet those guys on the cruise. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're good people, man. I'm happy for them.
Well, it's funny because I looked for him on the ship the whole week, and I finally ran into him the last day because the people that I was running with was like, "Oh yeah, we run into him all the time. We'll see him eventually." He had cut his beard off because I guess he wore the makeup and everything.
Right.
So I'm looking for a guy with a beard. So I was like, well, no wonder I couldn't find you, dude.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I was so used to seeing him with that goatee. When he didn't have it, I looked right past him, like I didn't recognize him. It's kind of funny how some people are like, I'm sure if you shaved your beard, I probably wouldn't recognize you either.
Well, that was the funny thing about me is I had people come up to me and say, "Oh, I recognize your beard from the KISS Cruise Facebook page." Not me. They didn't recognize me. They recognized my beard.
You gotta be like, have you ever a guy named Jerry Robbins? There's a jeweler. There's a jeweler in Philadelphia. He's got a big beard like yours, and he's got a big fat diamond that's permanently glued into it. That's what you need.
Oh well, maybe I'll get it all braided, put some Christmas ornaments or something. I don't know.
Well, I definitely, the big part of everything, like I said, this event would not have happened. Certainly would not have been run as smoothly as it was if it wasn't for all the volunteers. So I can't thank you all enough. If you're listening to this, props to you for lending a hand. You were the MVPs that made it happen.
Right on. Now pimp that website one more time so that those that want to download their pictures can find it again. Or if they want information for next year's Cruise Fest.
Stay in touch because there'll always be updates there. It's kruisefest.com. It's Kruisefest with a K. We also have a Kruisefest Facebook group page, which I suggest people join. There's constant updates and ways for you to interact with members on that page as well.
Right on, man. Well, it was good seeing you on the cruise.
You too.
Yeah, I think that's not. Is that the first time we met in person? I don't remember.
No, didn't we meet at Rockin' Pod?
Rockin' Pod, that's right. We met at Rockin' Pod earlier this year. You know, the time just kind of blurs together. We might have met 2 weeks ago. It might have been 2 years ago. It was the other day, regardless.
Hey, amen to that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was good to meet you. I'm glad you got on here and gave yourself a quick recap, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, man.
Peace out. All right, folks, I got Andy here. He did the Living in Sin experience at the Holiday Inn in Miami. So, talk, Andy.
Well, thanks, Al, for inviting me. This craziness of craziness, huh? I understand you're still recouping from the cruise, huh?
Oh, my gosh. I cannot believe how tired that made me.
First question, are you going back again next year?
I am not going next year. If there is an 11, I will go back because I already have my wife and I have already purchased a Hawaiian Island cruise.
Oh, nice.
And I think I would rather spend that week with my wife.
I think she would rather spend it with you too.
Oh yeah. Well,
maybe
maybe I'll enjoy it more than she will. But
oh, really?
no. Well, we've been married for 25 years, so I mean, we get along. Honestly, we get along better now than we ever have.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, there ain't no kid at home to cause us to fight.
No, now you can just get the pets to fight, right? It's just all the dog fight.
Let me tell you something. We have got 4 dogs, and that is absolutely overwhelming. And it's just because Alan has a big heart.
Yeah,
you know, we back in 2007, I believe 2007 or 2008, we got a Bashan at a local breeder, and then a few years later, someone pointed out to my wife, she works in a nursing home, and they bring dogs in to comfort, for the older people to deal with or whatever. And the lady was like, well, I noticed that you have that kind of dog, and there's 2 of them at the Humane Society. So by the time we got down there, someone had adopted one of them, but we got the other one. And then like 2 years later, a friend of mine had come over and brought her daughter's computer for me to look at. And she's like, oh, I love your dogs. And then a little bit later, I get tagged on a post of this, and a couple of counties over, somebody had one, and I felt sorry for it because it was in bad shape, so we adopted it.
Ugh.
And then my dad, he adopted a puggle, and then he passed away a couple of years ago, so now we have 3 Bashans and a puggle. So it's
jeez,
yeah.
You're not a bad guy then, are you? You
No.
say you're a bad guy, but
Yeah. Now the thing that really it kind of upset me, and I had to give my friend a hard time about it in a loving way, of course, is she tagged me on another Bashan post the other day because an older person had passed or whatever, so they had this 16-year-old Bashan. And I was like, as much as I would love to take that dog, we're overwhelmed with what we've got.
yeah,
So.
you can only do so much.
So hopefully somebody has adopted that little boy, and he's got him a nice, loving, forever home.
Probably sooner or later.
So now that we're done talking about dogs, let's talk about a cat.
Yeah. Well, where do you want to start?
Start. Hey, this is your 15 minutes of fame. So
15 minutes of fame.
wherever you want to start it.
It's not just my fame. Let's put it this way. I know a lot of people thank me because I get on these programs a lot, or we talk about this stuff when it comes up. But super props to my partner in crime, Jeff Hopkins, and his wife, Denise Hopkins, and of course, my new wife, Kim. So
congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. Really though, it was a super huge team effort. Jeff and I have been doing what we call Living in Sin at the Holiday Inn, because the Holiday Inn's across from Bayside. It's probably 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes from the port of Miami, as you know. And it was a big joke back in the day in 2012 when Jeff and I actually met on. And me, Jeff, and Denise actually met on the KISS Cruise in 2011 at the beach. They had the cabana next to mine, and we just started talking, and we just hit a friendship off, and it's just been You know, he's my best man at my wedding and stuff. And I don't know, we've just been friends ever since. We get along great, and we decided to, hey, let's have a party. Let's get everybody together, hang out at the bar, and blah blah blah. And that's how everything gets started. And then we started doing stuff for charity. We did stuff for Wounded Warrior, and then we did stuff for Breast Cancer Research Foundations. We started that, and we started asking for donations from people. We sent emails, PMs, and asking if anybody like to donate anything, and people wouldn't, whatever it was. We get stuff, and then we'd raise money and we'd give all the money to the breast cancer or the Wounded Warriors or whatever charity. The ASPC we did 1 year too for pets down in New Orleans and stuff. So it comes around, goes around, as they say. Good deeds for everybody. And the KISS Army, the KISS Navy, and KISS fans around the world have always stepped up huge, man. Everybody's been, for how much the cruise costs and everything else costs, they still pitch in money, and we always can make a good amount. No amount is too small, I say. Anyways, doesn't matter if it's $10 or 10,000. It's all good. You know what I mean? As long as it goes to the right spot and the right things. So really, Jeff and I had been kind of poking poking the bear to try to get Peter to come down to Miami for a long time, for a couple of years or more, to do meet and greets with people, because we were doing stuff for breast cancer. We know he went to the breast cancer thing. So, and then, as a lot of people know, I said that I literally walked on stage last year, and I said, "Bye, I retire. I'm done." In front of all those people, I said, "I'm all done." And then I got home. I was pretty sick. I never got the cruise crud. Yeah, that was the first time I ever got the cruise crud, and it was pretty bad. And then I told Kim, I said, "Hey, Kim, we're going to go on a cruise," meaning this year's cruise. I set up the Holiday Inn, the rides to go to the port and get blocks of rooms for everybody, which is cool, and everything else, which is not that hard. And that's where we had the parties. And all of a sudden, I had said I retired, but I told Kim, man, it would be kind of cool. We're going to go on the cruise anyways. How about if we just do simple, go back to the basics? As the two year just escalated so big, it got overwhelming. And there's a point where, I'm not in it for the money. So I'm not making any money. So if anybody thinks, "Oh my God, you guys are making money, you're like big promoters," it's not. We're fans. We're not promoters. I mean, yes, we promote the thing, so I think you look at it that way, but we're not technically promoters. We are just fans bringing it to other fans, and that's how it goes. That's for us. That's how Jeff and I have always done it and stuff. But the last couple of years just got so escalated, and this, and I mean, just overwhelming. And the fun used to be up here, and the junk stuff would be down here, and it started going almost tip-top in the other way. And I just said, I had it with that. There is a certain point you just go, forget this. And people said, man, go back to the basics. So this year, I wanted to go back to the basics. So I set up the thing for the Holiday Inn. We get the living in the Holiday Inn on the date. So now all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. Answer the phone. Who's on the phone? Gigi's on the phone. "Hey, Andy, how you doing? How's it going? How'd the thing go with Vinny?" "Well,
It's Vinny.
Yeah. So she said, "Well, somebody wants to talk to you." And I says, "Okay." And she hands over the phone, and I can't believe there's Peter on the phone. "Hi, Andy, how you doing? What's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, Kim, put on a speaker. Listen." And she says, "Peter wants to talk to you." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So he starts talking. He goes, "Well, Andy, blah, blah, blah." He says, "I know you guys been kind of, wanting me to come down for a couple of years and stuff." And he goes, "I'm ready to come. I'm ready to go to Miami." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Puts Gigi back on the phone. Gigi says, "So what do you think, Andy?" And I'm, Kim's like crying, and I'm like almost in tears. I can't believe this happened. I just said I retired. But all of a sudden I says, "Well, I have to do me one favor. I have to hang up on you, Gigi, and I have to call Jeff, because," I says, "if I'm going to do this, man, I got to do this with my original partner in crime. He's the one who started this all with me, and he's the one had been trying to get Peter to come to Miami to do a meet and greet and stuff." So I called up Jeff, said, "Jeff, guess what?" He goes, "What?" He goes, "Andy, I retired." And I said, "And you said you retired?" I said, "Yeah, but guess what?" I said, "Just got the phone call. Peter wants to come to Miami." He goes, "You kidding me?" I said, "Nope." He goes, I go, "You want in? You want to do this, don't you?" And he goes, "Yep. All right, we're in." That's how it gets started.
Hey,
So
that's great.
who says no to Peter? Come on. That's awesome, huh? So, and then, we had to, work things out, make sure everything was, everything's lined up, all the hotel stuff, all the stuff, and then we sold tickets. We didn't even have a big hoopla about it. Basically, some people were kind of upset that we didn't give like a pre-warning because people usually like pre-warn this is going to come, this is going to come. We couldn't because we figured there were going to be 8 million people sending us PMs, begging us to go. Can you save tickets? Can you save tickets? And there's no way we could do it. It was going to be first come, first serve. So we decided to just let it out. So one day we let it out, bang, 3 hours, 2 days gone. That's all I can say about that. That's how fast it went. It was gone within 3 hours. And, they could have sold a lot more, and they didn't want to. They wanted to make it. That's why they call it the Peter Chris experience. It's not like your typical meet and greet. It's not like you head down, and it's not a cattle call. It's not like put head down sign, go, move on, move on, move on. Peter likes to take a little bit of time with you, and he wants to talk to you. He wants to hear your stories, and vice versa. I mean, it's awesome, So we had Sunday the 28th, I think. I'm all screwed up. The 27th and 28th, yeah. So Sunday and Monday. So we had 2 days. The Sunday started at 5 and went to 11, and then Monday went from 11 to 5, 6 o'clock. So, and to me, it went awesome. It just went flawless. I mean, yes, there were people saying on Sunday it was a little bit slower, but to me, there was no other function going on in town. It was Sunday. We were the only thing actually really in town going on. So, and Peter was taking his time. Do you blame you, man? You paid your money, man. If he's going to talk to you, don't you want to talk to him back, right?
Shit, yeah.
I mean, there was a little glitch in the beginning, but once we started getting everything was working well. And, like I said, there were some people that were like, oh, they're tired and stuff. They must have just flown in and getting ready for the cruise and all that, even though they had another day or two to get, but I think it really worked well. Jeff, everybody else, the team was awesome. I got to hand it to, again, Jeff, Denise, Kim, my friend Lisa decided to fly down. She jumped in. Myself, and then she had some people that she had worked with in the past, or still does. So she had a Bill, Mark, Mucci from Japan that flew just in for that, and Colleen from New Orleans. So two little different kind of groups got together, and we had never.
Japan is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. No big deal.
Yeah, and we just here we go. This is what we're gonna do. This is how it's gonna work. No problem. I mean. And literally, man, there were people, some people said, oh, it seems a little bit slow. I mean, and then we'd ask them, have you ever met Peter before? And they'd be like, no. Well, wait till you come out of that room with the smile from here to here. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't not just, I'm not just saying the cattle call. You were in the room with Peter. So you didn't have like people right behind you. Sometimes you get the meet and greets that people are like right behind you and they're folding stuff out. They're talking. Oh, no. When you went to see Peter on this meet and greet, that's what I call the experience, is that it's you and Peter right there. You're the only two, and Gigi's there, and then you had the people that will help drying the stuff off were on another corner away from you. So it was just you and him. That's it, and they had another person, behind the curtain, what we call the photo, the backdrop for the photo, but they were behind it and you couldn't hear them, you couldn't see. So it was just you and Peter. I mean, face to face, like we're talking right now. It's awesome. I mean, he was in such good spirits, and he was telling little stories. I mean, it was just fantastic, man. I can't say enough how happy Peter was, how gracious he was, and how the stories that people would tell him, and he would tell them back and stuff. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, I just floored away.
that sounds very similar to you and I were in Indianapolis when Ace was up there last year. It was similar to how they were doing the Ace meet and greet.
Yeah.
Of course, it went a lot faster than that. But
well,
I was one of the few people that Ace took a minute to crack a joke about. So.
Oh well, that's what
Ace
I mean.
cracked a joke at my expense, and then how can you go wrong there?
Yeah, well, if he cracks a joke at your expense, it's okay. You know what I mean? Ace did the same thing to Kim and I, because I had wore, an Ace shirt that had a small Ace on it. And Kim had a shirt with a big Ace on it, and I'm 6 foot, and Kim is like 4'10". So we got in a room and they take the picture, and Ace starts laughing. He goes, "You two should switch shirts." And I'm like, "What?" And then I got it. It took me a minute because I'm the big guy wearing a small Ace, and she's a little person, and she's got the big giant Ace face on. And he's like, and then he did that giggle, and he's like, he did that giggle.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. So yeah, I mean, if you paid your hard-earned money, man. If Peter wants to take 5 minutes with you, take it. If he wants to give you 10, take the 10 minutes or whatever it was.
Heck yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I can't give enough props to Peter and Gigi too. She was awesome too. So I mean, the two of them were just fantastic. It was awesome. That's all I can say. And everybody in the package, they could get two things signed, their own personal things signed. Plus, we had a poster made by Mark, who's wanted to help us actually design the poster. And here's the poster. So it looks like it's like Peter in the background, almost like a live too, in a great spot that he signed all the posters and the date and everything else. So pretty cool.
That's pretty slick.
Yep. And also just because now that I got it up, there's about 40 left over. They will be posted on peterchris.net website. So if anybody's interested, and it's probably about a week because I still have them, I'm going to ship them back to them, and they are going to sell them for JR's cancer fight. As you know, that JR, you won the best. He's got cancer, and so we raised money over the 3 days to help JR, and I'll get into that, for cancer. So there's about 40 of those posters, and they're thick. They're not thin. They're thick, So, and they're all signed by Peter and stuff, and has the date for it. So if anybody's interested, I would look in probably about a week by the time I ship them out and they get them, and then they post them and probably do the links for it and everything else. So you can go to peterchris.net, and they'll definitely have a link up there. So there's about 40 left. So I got to ship them out on Tuesday when I go back to work. And we also got a bunch of let me just go through the bag stuff first, and then also everybody got a laminate that were numbered. That's why people are asking us, I want to get. This is why, because we didn't want to give everything away either. One day we had green, and the next day we had black. So everybody got one of these, and they had numbers on them, so that your numbers were like, because we didn't know people's flights, so we couldn't give out numbers and stuff early. And it had and on the back it just has, all the helpers' names on it, which is pretty cool. And so what we did is these numbers were for, we line up for your autographs first, and then to reorder it again for your photos afterwards. But the photos went so fast, people didn't even care. They're just like, we just gonna get our photos. So at that point, people were like, yeah, it's no big deal, But for the autographs, they wanted, everything go in order, so you could check everybody off to make sure and everything else. And you could have bought 2 additional autographs if you wanted to. Some people want to do more, but they want to set it to 2. If you were there, you'd understand why. Again, Peter takes his time with people, and he wants to talk to people. So if somebody has like 10,000 things, you're going to be there a long time. So that's what, and I agree with it. They shouldn't have that many things. It's just crazy. Why does anybody need that much stuff?
It makes sense to have to limit the numbers.
Yep. And then also we had in those laminates, we call it a goodie bag. It was green, and it looked like this. I got one open. It's just a little plastic green bag, and it just had that. And inside the green bag, it was just for fun. Now this wasn't even like part of the price and anything. It was just more of us for just having fun with it all. And Peter saw everything. Peter had his hand in everything, saw everything. Okayed everything, loved everything. It's just for fun. So we wanted to go back a little bit and think like 70s. Remember the KISS pencils? So we have a Peter Criss pencil. A little Peter Criss pencil. Kind of neat. You know what I mean?
Pretty slick.
Yeah. And then it was in there. It was a Peter Criss. I got it upside down. Peter Criss pen. Peter Criss little green pen. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. And then got a little bit of Peter Criss, Peter Criss, the Catman, the one and only Catman. I say thank you very much. People get mad all me all they want, like those rubber wristbands. Also, we had we have 2 magnets. We had the Criss Army is in gray, and we also had another magnet, Peter Criss the event. Oh, yeah, the cup. The cup though was that was different. That wasn't in the bag. The cup was done from the bar. They also had a keychain, Pretty Chris Army, and then on the back it's a breast cancer. It's men and women awareness. So just to make sure, everybody, should get checked and all that stuff. Whoop, just. And then we had thrown in some extra goodies. Oh, I got to take one open. I got to rip one open. I got only like a couple left. So much stuff got thrown around and at times and craziness. Whoop, whoop. There was I had made up the Catman pin, about 3 inches wide. It's pretty cool. Talisman on it. I never say that word right. Where is it? Oh, and it was a pick in there. I don't know where it went to. Anyways, and some stickers. That's good. Oh, also, people got a water bottle. The Chris Army water bottle. It's pretty cool. Gray.
Damn, now I'm wishing I had more vacation time. I could have got there a little earlier.
Yeah, you probably got to get there early. You could use this on the cruise, right? Could have filled up with water or whatever, booze on the cruise, right? You always need it when you're on those islands, especially when you're on those islands. So,
yeah, no kidding.
So that was just a goodie bag. That was just fun stuff. You know what I mean? I had nothing really to do with, it was just more of the fun stuff. So, again, what can I say? It was just fantastic. I have the grin from here and here. No stress, no fuss. Peter was totally off the hook awesome. And he would tell us stories. I don't know if you've seen my Facebook page. There's some candid pictures of Jeff and I sitting with Peter and before we took him back to the airport, and he was just telling us nice stories. Nothing bad. There's no dirt. It was all like cool, positive stuff. He's in a very, very good place and happy.
That honestly, that is refreshing to hear because we know other members of the band take digs every chance that they get.
Yeah, and he was very, very. I didn't dig in. I didn't. People ask, "Oh, did you ask any questions?" I was listening to we were just listening to him because he had like stories. You know what I mean? It was awesome. There's only one thing that I really kind of asked because I don't know why I even asked it. It's kind of probably a dumb question to even ask. Is that because I've always been against the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think it's just a giant joke. It's always been a joke, not just because of KISS. I just think it's a joke because it's not really rock, when you get Madonna and all these other people.
We have discussed that a million times on this show.
But I did ask Peter, what do you think about being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And, taking it from his point of view, because, he's in it. He is so honored to be in that, and not only because he's honored it, because he said that he's now stepped on a stage that great musicians and great things before him have been on that platform, and now are inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and now he's inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that can never be taken away from him. And now that I look at it that way, I don't really blame him, right?
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, but he had just like nice stories to talk about everybody and everything. He's just in a really grateful play. I think Jeff asked him if he still played drums. He says he still does. So, and stuff like that. So, but other than that, he was just telling like little stories here and there. And there's another picture out there. Now that it's out there, I didn't know it was supposed to be out there or not, but it's out there that we went to dinner with Peter after Monday night's event. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it when they said, "Hey, let's go out to dinner." This is like surreal to me. I never thought in my day of being a KISS fan that I'd be doing some of the stuff that I'm doing. Just blows my mind, And it's just, again, I don't really know why, but just me. You know what I mean? I don't.
If it wasn't you, it would be somebody.
Yeah,
it may as well be you.
Well, I don't have millions of dollars. I'm not like this huge promoter thing. I'm just a fan, like anybody else that's a fan. It's just
that's the way it was when I used to put on the KISS Expos. I get it.
Yeah,
totally get it.
It's just like I don't know. It just blew my mind away. Again, though, it's just not me. If it's not for Jeff, Denise, and now Kim helping out, and Lisa helping out. Oh, and Bobby, who took the photos. Man, I can't forget Bobby. Bobby took the photos last year with Vinny, and she did an awesome job. And she did the ones with Peter this year, just off the hook. Her photos are awesome. You can't give enough props. Everybody was just, we all know each other in our little group, and then we got to know the other half of the group, and then everybody just clicked and it worked. It's not much more I can say that it was just, seriously, it was just awesome. There's no drama. There was no complaints.
I cannot tell by the look on your face at all that you really got a lot of joy out of this.
Oh, we did. It was just, especially I can say especially for me, because some of the stuff that happened last year. That's all I'll get into about that. But it just I don't know. It's just so it's just surreal. Now I look back at some of the photos and stuff and sit there going, oh my God, I'm sitting next to one of my rock and roll icons that I worshipped as a kid. And now I'm sitting next to him and he's chit chatting about little stuff. What's for dinner, what's for supper, and going out to dinner that night. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm sitting in a room with a guy that I worshiped as a kid, and the music.
So for the whole weekend, all of the stuff that you did, what was the highlight of that event for you?
Well, there was a lot of different things. I mean, going to supper at the end, which didn't see coming. So that was like off the hook. Sitting there just chit chatting with him being so sociable and being nice, and the people. I gotta say, the people who went to the meet and greets at bottom, saying thank you to Jeff, I, Denise, and Kim, and everybody else. The faces coming, the people coming, their faces out of that room. That had never met Peter and stuff like that, coming out of the room. There were, grown men and women crying, walking out of that room, coming over to where the seats were and benches were, and basically sitting down and like barely could, stand up, and they're shaking and they go like this, and I'm getting the biggest grin and smile off it, going, there were people who told us that we made their life, we made something, we made their whole year and month or whatever it was, that they never thought this would be possible, especially for some of the people overseas, because there's so many people from overseas that bought the tickets that, they once in a lifetime chance for them. They said, this was like the highlight of the, thing for them, because they never thought they would ever meet Peter. And it just, I have to say, that was so awesome watching those people come out of that room.
Oh, you can't go wrong there. It looks like, as a fellow KISS fan, you did good.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm kind of speechless because, and that's hard for me,
Yeah.
as everybody knows. But it's just surreal, Even Kim, Jeff, and I, and Denise and Lisa just sit back, and Bobby just sit back and go, wow, just happened. I have to actually go back and look at the pictures now of people and our own pictures, and just go, wow, I just can't believe this just happened. Peter Criss, the real cat man, standing here in front of me or sitting there chit chatting with us, just blows my mind. I can't say enough. I just can't say enough. So awesome.
Yep. Now, before we get out of here, where can fellow KISS fans find you so that they can get a jump on what might be happening next year? Because you're coming back. We know it.
Well, here's the thing, too, is, we do Living in Sin. And we did this year, but I ended up doing it, because Jeff and Denise left and they were going back home, and me and Kim stayed because that was part like doing the honeymoon thing. We were going to go up to Orlando and all that stuff. So, I decided to do Living in Sin again. I said, Living in Sin lives again. And I keep saying, man, I don't know if I'm going to be back, but I understand this could be the last cruise. But I'll break it right here to you now. I just reposted, just did a thing. I'm coming back. So I'm going to do Living in Sin, but actually we're going to change the name. I'm going to call it Hooligans at the Holiday Inn.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, just kind of, actually, that's Bobby Drimiska's idea. She says, hey, Andy, how about Hooligans at the Holiday Inn? I'm like, hey, that's got a good run. So, and also, if you know Pasquale from Canada, he does Kiss Army Nation. If you don't know who he is, he's going to jump in and join me, and we're going to do some silly things again for next year. So we're going to have that. That's what it's the, I just made up the event right before I came on here with you. It's going to be, Hooligans at the Holiday Inn. It's going to be October 29th from 6 p.m. to 12. It's a free event for everybody. We're going to do the swap, trade, buy, sell again like we did this year. And probably have a new cup. Show your green cup again. Oh, wait a minute. Where's your red cup? See? It was a red cup. There we go. There's the red cup. So we had green for the Peter event, and then I was there for red cup for the red one. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to have blocks of rooms again for the 27th, 28th, 29th, and then the 4th when you get back from the cruise. There's so many, because some people stay one extra day after the cruise because they try to recuperate a little bit before they head off. So it's up there on Facebook. I put it up probably, what time? It's about a half hour ago. So it's up there. So I'm coming back. I know I'm crazy, but it's
well, you got to be a
KISS
little
thing's
bit
coming.
Crazy to be a KISS fan.
Yeah, and the KISS thing is kind of coming to an end. It's
Yeah,
sad
it
to
is.
say, but
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that believe that I heard Doc said that as long as people are going to come, they're going to keep doing the cruises. Because the cruises are not touring. A one-off show in Vegas or a cruise or an appearance here, an appearance there. Obviously, that is not the same thing as touring at all. Not even close.
yeah, they could do
So,
2 cruises or 3. They could do one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and one somewhere overseas if they really wanted to.
that was the big rumor while we were on the ship because they were building
Barcelona.
up. They were building up all week to there's a big announcement coming, and that's what everybody said. They're going to sail one out of Barcelona and the other one out of Miami.
Yeah.
But obviously that was not the announcement. So
Yeah, what was that? The July the 20.
July the 17th, 2021.
Yeah. What's your guess?
Well, they've already announced it. Oh, you mean the
Yeah, but
location?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a free concert. Everybody's like,
No.
oh, they're going to do a free show in Central Park. I'm like, no, they're not. They're going to do whatever the big baseball stadium is, and they're going to fill that fucker up.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, my guess has been since the beginning, since they started, is Citibank Field where the New York Mets play, Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, that's whatever.
That's my guess.
Yeah, I don't know the name of any of the locations because I'm not a sports guy.
Well, there's that one in Yankee Stadium.
But
that's it.
well, I heard both of them.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'd kind of like it to be Yankee Stadium just because I know the name of that one.
Well, Gene said he always wanted to play Shea Stadium where the Beatles played, and Shea Stadium's not there, so the new Mets field is there. So that's my guess, but who knows? They're gonna do what they want to do, and I don't even know if they do those big shows in Central Park anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know. But KISS is different, man. They need somewhere to control, fireworks, bombs, and all that stuff. So I would think it's got to be a stadium. And announcing it this early, it's got to be somewhere big.
Oh yeah.
Gotta be.
Well, what I really like is that the KISS cruisers are supposed to get first dibs on tickets. So.
Well, yeah, they'll give you a code like they did.
Yeah.
They gave all of us a code the year before. But
yeah, so I need
people going absolutely ballistic, because they released the tickets when everybody's getting on the cruise. But here, I have a code.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting on the cruise, flipping out.
Yeah, I'd heard about that. A lot of people.
Yeah, that sucks.
A lot of people were upset about that, and
it's plain suck
for good reason. Yeah, here's a code, but you don't have any internet on the ship, so fuck off.
Yeah. No, actually, a lot of people like to get the Holiday Inn trying to get online. So there's so many people jamming up people are just going nuts and they're trying to go down the street and they're going over this, they're going all over the place and stuff like that. So, but it is what it is. They're gonna do what they want to do. Whatever. It is what it is.
What, KISS do their own thing? No.
Oh, who knows? Maybe they'll get Vinny back on stage, along with Bruce, along with Bob Kulick.
Oh, man, that dude just keeps shooting himself in the foot. My mama always told me, Bob, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Never know.
Who knows how that's going to turn out. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off here, Andy. I appreciate you taking a few minutes of your time and giving us a Living in Sin recap.
Yeah. You didn't like it, though. You didn't have fun, did you?
At the Living in Sin thing?
You didn't have fun.
It was terrible. I missed it by 2 days. No, I didn't have enough vacation time to get down there early enough because, doggone it, I do other stuff too.
I know. But I saw you having fun. You were drinking up a storm.
Oh, well, I posted on Facebook standing in front of the Peter Chris Experience banner with a beer in my hand. It says, this one's number 2. I'm not even mad. But I did. I had a really good time. It was good to see you. It was good. It was good to meet your wife, because I'd seen all the pictures of you guys and everything. So.
Yeah, it was a great time, and we're gonna have a great time. And like I said, Pasquale from Canada does KISS Army Nation is gonna jump in and help this year just for fun. Like I said, it's a free event for everybody who's ever hanging around, And like I said, they're gonna get blocks of rooms at the Holiday Inn and rides to get to the port the next day for like $6.
Yeah, the
Can't beat
rides
that,
that was pretty. I enjoyed that. You know,
See?
the
Walk right out, bingo.
the downside to that is there were two buses there, and the guy on the front bus was not playing Kiss music. The guy on the back bus was playing Kiss music. I'm the only one that got on that bus, and they made me get off of it and go on the other one. So,
Oh, jeez.
yeah,
Oh, jeez.
it was all good though. Me and that guy had fun trading jabs at each other. So,
Anyways, it's a great time. Thanks to everybody. You know, shout outs and all the thank yous and everything else. It's been a wild ride. So I keep saying it's the last ride, but I think after this year, it is the last ride because I think this is it.
yeah.
You know?
Well, who knows? You know,
Yeah,
if it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. I got to go
Yeah.
on one, so I'm very happy.
And I can't believe it. Now I'm not going to see you down there next year.
No,
Jeez.
but I'll be thinking about you when I'm in Hawaii at a luau somewhere. Actually, we're doing a Hawaiian Island cruise, so we're flying to Honolulu and then getting on a cruise ship and sailing around the
Nice.
different islands. Yeah, it's like a 7-day cruise.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it'll be fun. And I have an old Air Force roommate that lives in Hawaii now, so we plan to visit her and her family.
Nice.
Yes, I said my Air Force roommate was a her. My wife knows all about it. we were actually, a bunch of us had a house together, and one of them was a girl, so it was all good. Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, thanks again for your time, Andy.
Yeah,
I will
thank
catch
you, man. It's awesome.
catch you online soon. Y'all, peace out.
Bye, buddy.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.